to the LP show.
All right, guys, this is episode 3 of the LP show. I'm Pilks. This is my boy Luke. We're in today, and I think we have a really good conversation that we're going to get into. Anyways, Luke, how was your week, man? It's Thursday. It's almost the weekend. How was your week, man?
It's been a long one. It's been a long one like usual.
It's been a long one. Yes,
Early
sir.
mornings. Just early mornings, man, 6 a.m. wake ups, It sucks. It sucks the grind of life, as you know, Blino.
Sir.
And that's something we're going to talk about today, actually, work-life balance. I know, Blino, you have a lot to speak on about this this subject.
I do.
So if you don't want to, if you want to, you can just jump right into it and,
Oh, yeah.
get into it.
No, let's get it. So, I mean, there's a few things that burns a hole in my heart about this topic, right? One specifically, like with my job, my job, man. I work corrections, right? And it's one of those fields where you can be called anytime, day or night. Doesn't matter what's going on. If there's a facility emergency, it's, you got to come in, right? And it's kind of tough, How do you shut that off? How can you live life with knowing in the back of your mind you might get that call? There's also the same thing when you get so used to working 12-hour shifts 6 days in a row. That's all your life becomes about, and that's like inadvertently. That's not something
absolutely.
people can afford. You're so used to waking up, going into work, working 12, getting off, doing your few little chores, and then boom, you're going to sleep, waking up and doing it again. And like I said, I have quite a few things I would like to speak about on this. I do believe that some people have an addiction to work. That is their whole life.
Yeah,
right?
I knew somebody a few years back, buddy of both of ours. I'm not gonna name anybody. 2:30 we called him.
No reason.
But
2:30. He was up at 2:30.
But no, weight wise, we used to call him 2:30.
Okay. Yeah.
But no, he was addicted to working, man, and it's one of those things, if you got to have that work life balance, and that's something I always strive for in any type of job that I take personally.
Yeah.
Is like, as I've gotten older, it's like what's important to me. It's like jobs, they come and go. Your family doesn't, right? Like your family's
Right.
what stays. So it's like that's 100% more important to me. So it's like, schedule, not being on call like you were talking about, because when we lived back in Indiana, I did remediation work, and you know how that is, and it was an on-call schedule, and that was terrible. I hated that. Once a month we had to do on-call for a week, and it was like, nah, dude. 2 a.m., 3 a.m. call. No way, dude. You know what I mean? That's just like, that's unreal.
You could get that call 7 days in a row while you're on call.
Exactly.
Week,
Exactly. There's always that chance.
Right, and those jobs could take 10 plus hours to finish each day.
Absolutely.
So you're putting in that work. So I got a question. How some people don't know how to leave their home at work, and some people don't know how to leave their work at work. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I understand.
Question to ask, like how would some people, and I know people are plagued by this. I work with people who are like this, and I'm not dogging on them, but they can't leave work at work and they can't leave home at home. So how would you give advice to somebody who deals with that, where specifically, and I'm asking how to leave work at work. When you clock out, you walk out those doors, how do you leave it there? Don't think about it. You're ready to go home, be with your family, and whatever that entails. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a good question. Like I said, it comes down to per person, though. I mean,
right.
My personal opinion is all I can speak on, but
Sure.
how I do it is, I kind of I detach myself from it. You know what I mean? I just don't really, there's a level of caring to where you're not going to get fired, obviously, but there's also a level of caring to know that, like I said, there's a million jobs out there.
Right.
You're only living one time, though. You know what I mean? So it comes, like I said, it comes down to per person, in my opinion, and what's more important to that person. Is it what's driving you? Is it the money? Is it that? do you need to adjust your lifestyle, work a little bit harder, pay off some bills, and then you can drop down, you know what I mean? Stop working so damn hard, so you can finally chill.
Right. There's no seasons of life.
Exactly.
For 2 months you might be working 6 days a week because that's what's going on. Let's say you're in a career and you've been in 6 years, and sometimes that happens, man. That happens.
Yeah.
No, that's a good answer. I really appreciate that. There's another thing I wanted to bring up,
Yeah.
and this is something I very, very deep in my heart. What do you think about people that don't work at all?
I mean, it's one of those things where it's, that it's a generational thing. People like us, it's like when you sit at home, dude, it just like drives you crazy. Like you want to do something.
Yes. Yes.
But younger people nowadays, they don't want to. So it's just like I said, it's a generational thing. But to kind of switch the topic, I had a quick question for you.
Yeah.
Like you said, you work in CO, or you're a CO, so you work in corrections.
Mm-hmm.
How do you deal with that? Feeling that pressure of knowing you're on call. Like, what? Do you ever think about it like, man, I could just go get a different job? You know what I mean? Or is it a thing where you're like, I feel trapped almost a little bit? You know what I mean? Because I've done this for so long and I'm so comfortable doing it.
Right. That's that's like 6 questions in one,
But you in a group, in a whole, you know what I'm saying?
No, I hear you. I'm in that boat.
That's a good one though, Plano.
It is a great one.
That's a smoking one.
I'm in that boat where because where I live, right? I live in New Mexico. I'm not from here, and I have that opportunity. I think I'm gonna dip back home, right?
Right.
Where I have that, I can just, here's my 2 weeks. I'm done.
Right.
It's one of those things. I took a job as a CO because I wanted it to be a springboard to be a police officer or sheriff, law enforcement.
I get it.
And my whole goal was not to be there forever. Well, here we are 2 years down the road, right? And it's like, man, I got 2 years in, and I hold rank. I have many different training certs underneath my belt. I'm certified, all these things, right? There are times when I do feel trapped. I have been doing this for so long, we always joke at our work, if somebody's been working there 6 months, they're an old timer.
Right.
Like they've been through the shit.
Real quick, that's what I was gonna say. It's one of those things where you everybody has those mornings when you wake up and you're just like, dude, I don't want to do this today.
I don't want to do this.
Like,
I don't want to do this.
And the problem with it is when you have so many of those days in a row, when do you listen to yourself? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, that's a great question, man. That's when you really have to dig deep, and it's going to be uncomfortable. It's going to be so uncomfortable to sit there and face the fact this is not for me.
Yeah,
right?
you're having to do it still, right? Like it's just like, oh my goodness.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, and that's it, guys. It's uncomfortable. It truly is to sit there.
Absolutely
and look at yourself and say, I've been doing this for X amount of years, but it's been 6 months in a row where I'm contemplating calling in. I contemplate walking out. Guys, we're here to labor, right? We're here to work. We have to take care of our families. Us as men, right? We have to work. We have to take care of our spouses, our children. We're here to work. But when you're down that rut, and you just got to look at yourself in the mirror and say, is this what I need to do? Because ultimately, I'm constantly contemplating leaving, quitting, looking for a new job, and it's been X amount of weeks.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's a great point you make. Yeah, it's one of those things, like I said, and I've been in those situations, and I'm sure you have too. We're almost 30 now. We've been through our fair share of jobs. I mean, it is what it is. Yeah, it is what it is. Like I said, but that's why we can relate so much to this, because we've been in those situations where you feel trapped, and it's one of those things where it's easier said than done. It's always easier said than done, right? But there is always that alternative way out, and it's like you just have to be able to push through and realize you need to have that work-life balance. Yes, so if you're getting overworked or whatever it might be, you need to dial it back, take a step back, and realize, okay, I'm getting overworked. How long is this gonna last? Is this gonna, like you said, Blaine, is this gonna be 3 months? Is this gonna be a week, 2 months? How long, and how long can I take it? How long before I'm like I'm getting those butterflies in my stomach when I'm driving to work? And
I get that.
one thing
I
you can
get
do is, and I'm no expert, but you can proactively look for a job while you're at that job. Bathroom
I
breaks,
highly encourage
breaks.
you.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, you're good, because I highly encourage people, do not quit the middle of your job without a job lined up.
Yeah.
I used to do it.
At least
It is not
at least have a
getting
few interviews or something going.
up, or
Yeah.
an offer letter in your hand saying, okay, you start this day. And if you're to the point where you're just so done with whatever you're doing, but you have that, sure. But I highly encourage, coming from somebody who used to do it, and just say, I'm just fucking done with this, and just walk out. It's not good, man. How are you going to support yourself, right?
Oh, I mean, yeah, I've done it too, and I don't do it nowadays. Obviously, it's just like I'm so much older now, but it's
Right.
just like you said, unless it's the absolutely worst. So like you walk into a job, dude, and you have no idea what to expect, and you're slave laboring every day, 10 hours a day, dirty in the muck. I mean, yeah, I might leave that,
Sure.
for sure, right?
Circumstances.
Circumstantial for sure. But moving on to the next topic here.
Yeah.
What's a good way that you would personally preach like a good work-life balance, like, or let me rephrase that.
Okay.
What would be a good work-life balance for you? Because I know like what you're doing right now. I don't know how it's working for you. It seems like it's up and down, but I mean, that's just on my personal, what I hear from you. So that's my question to you. What would be your, I guess, your take on your own situation as well as advice for others?
Others, yeah. So for me, my thing in life is my faith, right? Is my faith in God, is my trust in the Lord. And it's one of those things, especially like the last 2 months, because of the fact that I've been working so much, my Bible, my church life has diminished greatly, and that's taken a toll on me.
Absolutely. It's a big part in your life.
It's a huge, and it's the biggest part of my life. And for me, my work-life balance is, I have those Bible studies, I have those weekly worship with the church Sundays, on the Lord's days, prayer meetings, stuff like that, where it takes my mind from work. It literally forces me to stop thinking about work. For a long time there, I would think about, what if this happens? What if this happens? I would think about, things that happen throughout the day. I wouldn't be able to let it go.
Playing that what if game.
What if, and talking with my therapist, a year and a half back, like, that what if game will kill you. Not literally,
100%.
figuratively,
Yeah.
but it will drive you into the dirt.
Mentally, it will drain you.
It will. What if is the biggest killer. You have to recognize that that's your brain not being able to, like, comprehend and rationalize things that have happened through work, right? Or whatever's going on. For me, my what if was, what if I get assaulted? What if I get swung on? Because I work as a CEO. I'm in that environment.
What do you
where
do?
that could,
Right.
but that's where you have to recognize, do you
It's
have a game plan?
It's a situational thing.
Yeah. Let's say you're a banker, right? Or you're a stockbroker, a hedge fund manager, or you work at a warehouse and you're a manager, and you're thinking, what if I don't get this done? What if I don't have this happen? What if this is not ready? You have to stop yourself and say, okay, what if this? I have a game plan for this. Let's move on.
Exactly. You have to improvise and just keep. Yeah, you have to just improvise and exactly. That's the only way you can do it. 100% agree, man.
Right. So for me, I would, if I look forward to, okay, Tuesdays are my prayer meetings, Mondays are my Bible studies. I do my work, I go home, and I look forward to this. After that, it's okay, cool. Now I get to go to the gym. So I would say the advice for me, and the advice I would give, is recognize that you need hobbies, something that takes your mind away from work. You need hobbies, and you need something that will force your mind to stop thinking about work. You know, if
Yeah.
for the people that think about work too much. On the flip side, for the people that don't want to work, you have to recognize that you're the one that has to take care of yourself, right?
Absolutely.
If you're, figuratively, if you're out there begging for the, for bread, for money, uh, not a lot of people are going to hand out like that.
Yeah,
You can't
you know what they always say, you got to look out for number one,
and,
right? Because at the end of the day, nobody else is going to look out for you. You know what I mean?
right.
You can't
Rely on that.
rely on that. If you rely on that, you're going to end up dead somewhere, eventually. I mean, you can rely on your parents for so long, you can rely on, but once you move past all that, and that's just what it is.
You have to take care of yourself, and for those with families and spouses, you also have to recognize they're relying on you too. Right?
Absolutely.
You're the man of the house. You're the one that's taking care of and providing. You have to work. So for
Absolutely.
the flip side, if you're working too much and you love working too much, you have to recognize you have to dial that back. If you think about work too much, you have to recognize you need hobbies. You need something to take your mind off of it, decompress, and compartmentalize what happened throughout the day. And on the flip side, go to work, man.
Yeah.
Labor.
I absolutely agree. I absolutely agree, and I'm sure that's what we'll be seeing from you a little bit if you do make the move back to Indiana.
It's something that's been on my heart. I don't know. I truly don't.
Coming soon. We'll see what happens.
We'll see.
He'll vlog it. But anyways, we're gonna wrap this up for the day. This was gonna be a shorter one. We're gonna be coming out with episode 4 on Saturday. So the new schedule we talked about, Blano, is gonna be on Thursdays and Saturdays.
Yes.
And Blano's now gonna be Pilk's now gonna be taking over the community channel, right? You're gonna do that, and then you're gonna be trying to find some highlights within the
Sure.
at least one or two of the videos throughout the week. So that's going to be pretty exciting. But yeah,
learn how to do that.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be a learning curve, but make sure you guys hit that like, subscribe button, notified, get notified, hit the bell. But just like always, man, folks, if you want to send us off, man, it was great talking with everybody. We'll see you all on Saturday.
Guys, on Saturday. Thank you guys for tuning in. This has been the LP Show. I'm Pilks. This is my boy Luke. Have a good night. This has been the LP Show. Thank you for watching. My name is Pilks. This is my boy Lucas. Tune in next week.